Islam Makhachev's already booked to fight Ian Garry at UFC 330. Looking at that card, guys, I was scrolling through it a bit and I was like, wow, this card's a little bit lackluster. And like, I started thinking about the matchup specifically of like Islam Makhachev and Ian Garry and like how he matches up. And is Ian Garry actually the hardest stylistic matchup for Islam Makhachev? So in this tier list that I have in front of you guys today for my 25,000 subscriber special. Yeah, thank you guys. Thank you for saying that. Guys, thank you, brother. I feel like a little bit I don't not acknowledge, but I feel like I don't like, give myself a little pat on the back, guys, and like thank you guys enough for subscribing, I feel like a lot of people like know of me, but like not a lot of people actually sub to me and like consistently watch my video. I mean, that's cap. You guys do consistently watch it, but it's definitely good to see, the growth coming in, a little bit strong, shy guy at first. I used to walk like across the street, like playing with my fingernails, looking left and right. I used to like rub my shoulders, being all nervous and stuff. But now I feel like I can be myself as the channel is growing. Now, jokes aside, guys, thank you so much for allowing me to hit 25,000 subscribers, guys. For the people who like the video, without me saying, yeah, man, make sure you like the video. You guys are the GOATs. Like the person who did it right now, a little bit strong, handsome, thank you. Thank you for the subscribers, because a lot of people watch me and just aren't subscribed. They don't even realize it. They're like, oh, I watch Kenny every day, but oh shit, I'm not subscribed. So for the people who actually show love consistently by liking and subscribing, thank you guys so much. But without further ado, guys, we're going to get into this video. In this video, I do have every single ranked welterweight. So we're actually going to go through some stupid matchups, like not matchups I think are stupid, but matchups like I don't really think of. And we're going to be putting them in the tier list. We also have some middleweights involved and like, some special guests. So let's just get into it, guys. Starting off with the number 15 ranked guy. And honestly, I almost forgot this guy's number 15 ranked because he's actually really good. We got Amosov. Yeah, man, Amosov's good. Guys, he's ranked like, what is he ranked? Number 15. Like, that's crazy to me. This dude's badass, guys. He has a lot of skill. Around him. It's like stylistically, man. I'm not gonna lie. I don't know why I feel like a lot of welterweights are bigger than Islam. I mean, that's not weird to feel, but like Amosov seems like a big, strong guy. Of course, there's a clip of him just out wrestling Khamzat Chimaev like it was nothing. Now, not like it's nothing, but like I just don't see that often, especially with Khamzat in the training room. He's usually the hammer, but seeing people like Amosov who exist, heavy-handed, good grappling, man, this is a tough one. And I feel like I don't want to overrate him, but I actually think he's really good.
He has better grappling than Chimaev.
So it's a mix of like, I think he's a badass, but people, oh, dude, Kenny, he's not good. He's just a nerd, he's fought nobody. It's like, oh, I hate people who just ignore skill because they haven't done anything yet. Bro, stop ignoring skill. Skill is real. Stylistically, not gonna lie, I'm between I'm worried gang and tricky bloke, because he's a tricky bloke for him, he is objectively a tricky bloke. I didn't even go through the tier list, guys. Let me just walk through the tiers right now before I place him. When I say I'm worried gang, it means like, dang, I'm not gonna lie, I'm scared for Islam. I'm not saying Islam's gonna lose, but it means I'm scared for Islam. Then there's tricky bloke, someone who's like a tricky matchup for him. Even if Islam has more ability to win, this guy's tricky and anything could happen in the fight. Then I have average comp. This just means like it's just another average day for Islam. He's probably gonna get it done. The guy might have some resistance, but nothing crazy. Then I said little to worry about. It's like, bro, there's not really much to worry about. Go in there, pick him up, finish him. Then easy pickings. This is like the worst tier. This means Islam's gonna like do whatever he wants to. As far as Amosov, where does he fit in? Like I said, it's between tricky bloke and I'm worried gang. And I'm not gonna lie, the fact that I'm contemplating so much, I don't want to stack it though. I'm gonna put tricky bloke. All right, I was gonna say I'm worried gang, but I thought about it. And what if he has no endurance? Like, there's some things we don't know about him. Of course, I saw his one loss against, what's it, Jason Jackson or something? Someone who's just not Islam, but he hits hard. But he's a tricky bloke for Islam. I'll still say at the end of the day, he's tricky. So I think putting him on that tier is fair. Probably going to be a little bit mixed reactions in the comments, but I think I did a pretty good placement. Next up, Yoros Medik. He's booked this Saturday. What a horrible card, bro. Holy crap. I mean, all cards suck nowadays. But Yoros Medik, I don't know, guys. Like, he hits hard. He's explosive. Like, all Islam has to worry about, in my opinion, is like the explosive start. Medik hits hard, so you got to worry about the hands. But Islam's a little bit too green to that. I'm gonna say little to worry about. Like, all he has to worry about, in my opinion, is the power. And if he doesn't like get touched, he'll be fine. Like, it won't be a hard matchup for Islam. So only thing to worry about is the power. Next up's the guy he's actually fighting, who's ranked number 13. I don't looking through some of these ranks. Is like, it's a little bit weird because how is D-Rod even ranked in welterweight? Like, he seems a little bit mid to me. I don't know. But D-Rod, I'm gonna say easy pickings. I think Islam would just beat the shit out of him. He's big, yeah, he's strong, yeah, but Islam just more skilled, probably takes him down, submits him really easily. So that's an easy pick and fight, not spending too much time on that. Next up, Michael Venom Page, wait. I'm not biased, All right. This was a good one, though. This is actually a good matchup. Like, what, bro? It's a good matchup. I don't know, man. I don't know. Like, Venom Page, like, objectively, everyone knows what they're going to do with him. They're going to try to go in there and take him down. Jared Cannonier tried to. Of course, Cannonier can't wrestle. That was at middleweight, He made Ian Garry turn into grappler. Ian Garry did have success, but it just seems like with MVP, the hard thing is catching him. And we're going to see, like, I feel like after Islam fights Ian Garry, it's going to answer a lot of questions about going against a 6'3" opponent who moves well, because I think MVP is actually harder to track down and catch than Ian Garry. Ian Garry makes it look annoying, but MVP, like, just doesn't really get touched in fights. Ian Garry gets touched a lot of fights. MVP doesn't really, like, leave fights with, like, any bruises on his face. The only time he ever lost was, like, getting caught with a punch, kind of getting slept. But obviously we know Islam's game plan is going to be, it's similar to the Garry fight, very similar actually when I think about it, because it's literally just going against a 6'3" guy, and Islam has to fight outside of his game plan, which means just run at him and do something he hasn't done. One thing I think MVP is actually better at Ian Garry than is countering. Like, if you run into him stupidly, he'll do a spinning elbow, land on you, or like a flying knee when you're coming in with a takedown. Like, you got to be he's a tricky one. He's a tricky bloke. I'm going to put him in tricky bloke. I'm going to put him behind Amosov, though, because I think Amosov has more of a grappling, of course, more of a grappling base and heavy hands, whereas I feel like MVP is more like he's a tricky bloke, but in one situation of the fight, if that makes sense. But like I said, if Islam Makhachev goes in there and fights differently, which is what he has to do, he could have success, but I just think it's going to be a tricky thing to solve, honestly. Next up, we got Mike Mallott. Yeah, I don't even know. Mike Mallott just kind of shitty, dude. Mike Mallott sucks. Like, Mike Mallott, like, goes into fights he's supposed to win by landslide and struggles. He's not a bad person, objectively speaking. It's just that he's not crazy to me. I'm going easy pickings. I think he's an easy pickings fight. Like, I don't think Islam has much to worry about in this fight. Yeah, I think Mike Mallott goes in there and just gets pieced up badly. Next up, we got Kamaru Usman, who's a little bit, he's getting to that point, like, he's in the top 10 in the ranks now. Like, it's been like, I don't know, Usman, you've been falling off, gang. Kamaru Usman, honestly, like, before his last fight, I was actually saying, I'm worried, gang, this is the hardest stylistic fight for Islam, but his knees look bad. And I know, well, it was in a weight class above against DDP. I will say, of course, DDP has more power, more strength, and more size, and I feel like that was evident. It's not like if Islam lands on Usman, it's gonna look like that. Of course, it's a different weight class, but and Usman's, he's been in there with Khamzat. He's been in there with good offensive wrestlers. That's true, actually. Stylistically, I think DDP is actually a better striker than Islam. I don't know if that's a hot take. I can't tell. But it'd be an interesting one for me. I think it'd be an interesting one. I think it's hard for Islam, though. But my thing is, I just think at this point of Usman's career, if it was prime Usman, he not only is a hard matchup, I think he wins. But at this point of his career, I just think Usman will be like, Islam will probably do some low kicks. Usman's fight IQ will be good. I know Usman might be physically a little bit more imposing than Islam. That could be something to look out for. I don't know. I'm between tricky bloke and honestly average comp. I don't want to call him average comp, though. Like, there's people who are average comp. I don't think it's ever an easy fight against Usman, but DDP showed me it's possible. But I wonder how much that had to do with size and strength. I know Islam's strong. I think DDP's like stronger. By a lot, by a lot and bigger. Like, of course, Islam's not weighing 230 on fight night. I'm going to say tricky bloke. I think he's tricky because I think stylistically, Usman does everything pretty well. Like, he wrestles pretty well. He's strong. I feel like his striking's ugly, but that jab can get to people. DDP was eating it pretty well, but then again, DDP, like, when he hit Usman, it was almost like there was too much of a strength difference. I don't think Islam's going to have a strength difference, so he's not going to rock Usman every time he hits him. He might have a speed advantage, but that's a bit different. So I'm going to put him in tricky bloke. I just think that's how it's going to work. Next up, we got Joachim Buckley. Yeah, this is one of those ones where I just feel like average comp is the right thing to do. Because I feel like Buckley's good, of course. But Buckley's like, I don't know. Should I even put, yeah, he's average. Because I think Buckley's physically strong, but he's not hard to take down if you're a good offensive wrestler. Usman showed that. Maybe Usman taking him down had a little bit more to do with strength. Sure, maybe, But for the most part, Buckley, he's strong. He's fought at 185. He hits hard. Honestly, I'm between average comp and little to worry about. I think stylistically he might be a bit harder than a Medic though, because Medic doesn't go the distance much. We've seen Buckley fight over the course of distance against middleweights like Imavov and even some welterweights too. But yeah, and then he has finishing ability every round. Like even against Usman in the 5th round, he made him pay. I think it'd be similar to like a Dustin Poirier fight for Islam, if that makes sense. Like someone who could, I mean, not even maybe even a bit easier than that. But then again, I still think it's just average comp. That's like average. That's the most average you can get. Like giving Buckley, that's an average win. He'll win. People will be like, oh, it's crazy. Be like, oh, it's average. Yeah, average. So yeah, I think that's the right call. So I'm gonna put him in the average comp. Next up, we got you're too slow, Belal. You're too slow. What? I'll head kick you. Yeah, I'm not gonna lie, buddy. You gotta pack it up. I don't know if he's easy pickings or little to worry. Nah, easy pickings. I'm sorry. Leon's not good, bro. Like Leon is just getting his ass whooped by any good wrestler. Like Sean Brady showed it. Of course, I think Sean Brady and Belal fight differently than Islam. I think they were like a little bit more like, I'm literally going to run at you and just take you down and do whatever I want. I think Islam would be a little bit more measured, but I still think it's easy pickings because once Islam gets a hold of him, I think you'd take him down with ease. It'd be a pretty easy fight. So I don't mind saying easy pickings for Islam Makhachev. Next up, Belal, remember the name. What? Why does Leon talk like that? Remember, shut your mouth, Leon. All right, Belal Muhammad. I don't know. Belal, like, there's a point I was actually like, yeah, man, stylistically, I'm gonna. But like after his recent one, I mean, he had a close one with Ian Garry. Why am I doing that? See what I almost just did right there? I almost just shrugged off his recent performances because he struggled with Ian Machado Garry. That guy's badass, dude. He didn't struggle. I actually thought on paper he could have won that. Like, he outlanded him on total strikes. Like, he outboxed him. He just got his legs stomped on, like, badly. Belal's good. He's good. Belal's good. He'll be a step behind everywhere, though. I'm going to put him average comp, but I'll put him ahead of Buckley. But I do think Belal's average comp to Islam. I think he'll beat Islam. I mean, I think Islam would beat Belal, but like Belal wouldn't be like a full walk in the park. Islam would have to be on his P's and Q's and shit. The reason I actually think Kamaru Usman is a harder stylistic matchup because I feel like Kamaru has like more power in his punches, and I feel like he has a better jab overall. And I feel like, yeah, maybe the offensive wrestling my favorite Usman too against Islam, but I feel like Belal will just be a step behind everywhere but making competitive. Yeah, I just feel like Usman's maybe like actual physical strength is gonna be a little bit of a trickier thing for Islam, whereas I feel like Belal wouldn't. I actually want to see Belal versus Usman a bit, even though like even this version of Usman, I think it'd be a good fight. Actually, I think I would favor Usman in that fight. Honestly, I actually do like that matchup. They should. If Usman doesn't retire, that should be the only thing he's looking for, and that's it. But as far as Islam versus Belal, I think it's kind of an average comp. Next up, we got Gabriel Bonfim, who had a great performance in his last one. He kind of butchered Belal, didn't he? Oh no, he kind of butchered Belal. He butchered Belal. Fucking A. But Bonfim's like not crazy to me. I'm not gonna lie, he's not crazy to me. Where would I put him? Honestly, average comp too. I think styles make fights. I think Bonfim, I'll put him ahead of Belal, but I think he's average comp for Islam. Like, I think like people are gonna take a lot from the Belal fight, but I think Belal like just was forced and like tried to stand a little bit more than he should have. I think he should have like had a better game plan. I feel like Islam would have a good game plan going into it, and I feel like it'd be a hard fight for Bonfim. I don't think he's gonna give Islam. I don't even think he's tricky for Islam. Yeah, he has good low kicks. Islam's seen that before, like a good striker though. Like Islam would take down Bonfim and just outstrike him on the feet as well, honestly. I think he's a better striker objectively. So I'll put him in average comp. Bonfim's not bad. He's just not someone I look at like, oh shit, Islam's going to get his ass whooped. Never, ever will I do that in my life. Next up, Sean Brady, who I was saying, yeah, man, stylistically. Sean Brady, okay, out of like the Belals and the Usmans, stylistically, I think Sean Brady would be a harder matchup for Islam. The reason I think this is because, yeah, even though Belal beat Sean Brady, the way Belal beat Sean Brady was like kind of absurd pressure that I just don't believe Islam has. I'm very much a person of styles make fights. I know some people are very different from that, and they're like more like a MMA math maxer, or they're like, oh, but this guy beat this guy. So yeah, I don't believe in that shit though. I'm not gonna lie. Not that I don't believe in it. It might make some sense to an extent, but I think stylistically, Sean Brady's like striking style, like he's a pretty decent boxer when you're going tit for tat with him and not overwhelming him with like size or like volume or pressure. And I don't think Islam's someone who overwhelms people with size or overwhelms people with absurd pressure and volume in their strikes. I think Islam's a little bit more of a counterpuncher, tit for tat. I think him and Sean Brady will get into some exchanges. honestly. And I think, yeah, I seen Sean Brady. Like, Sean Brady's actually known for pretty decent cardio. That Belal fight was a really weird fight for him. I think he woke up after that. But honestly, I'm worried, gang. Like, I think it's one of those. Like, I know people aren't gonna really buy it because they're like, oh, but Belal finished him. I don't think Belal fights like Islam. I think Islam could have a really good striking performance. Like, definitely a really good one. I think he'll have a heavy kicking approach, but I think it'll be interesting, like the size of Sean Brady. Sean Brady's a big welterweight. He doesn't look it, guys, but he's 200 pounds. Him and Morales are the only people who I know weigh 200 pounds on fight night. Both weigh, like, I don't know any other welterweight. Even Usman, like, he hasn't disclosed it, but maybe Usman's around 200 as well. But these guys are big. Like, they just the two biggest. Him and Morales are the two biggest that I know of. And I feel like that might have an advantage in the clinch and in the, like, I feel like if Sean Brady gets on top of Islam, it'd be a little bit more difficult. Like, the way Thiago Moises took down Islam, like picked him up in the clinch and took him down. I could see Sean Brady do something like that, And then on the feet, I could see Sean Brady applying pressure and getting countered, but like making it hard for Islam, like pressuring Islam. Kind of similar to a Dustin Poirier fight, but except Dustin Poirier doesn't have the wrestling caliber and the strength of a Sean Brady. So I think I'm worried. I wouldn't, like, I think Islam wins, yes. I'm going to say that. Like, this is something I'm worried about for Islam, but I feel like the size and the height is something Islam's used to. So I think Islam beats him. But I think I'd be worried. Like, I'm not going to lie. Like, if that fight gets booked, I'm not going to be like, oh, man, Islam's going to walk through him. I know a lot of people would. I wouldn't. I think a lot, like, stylistically, it could be very interesting because styles make fights, not records and resumes. So I'm going to put it there. Next up, Jack Della Maddalena. Considering you already beat him, I'm going to say little to worry about. Just respectfully. I like JDM. I actually thought he was going to give Islam a harder fight when I was picking Islam to win. But I did think he was gonna be stronger. I'm gonna say little to worry about. Well, yeah, little to worry about. Not because he's like a Eurosmatic level, but because Islam's beat him before already. I would put him in average comp regardless, but I don't think I don't think Islam like 50-45 is average comp. Like, I feel like average comp might take a round or something or have like moments. JDM had no moments. He nearly died in there. Like, JDM didn't do anything crazily impressive in that fight. So I think the right thing to do is say like Islam would have little to worry about in a rematch against Jack Della Maddalena. Jack Della Maddalena is more skilled than a lot of these guys, but I don't know, man. Lately, man, he's been looking a little bit shaky. I don't know. This really doesn't make me feel okay. Next up, Michael Morales. Now, you guys don't know, this guy is officially the backup fighter. So if something happens to Ian Garry, and for some reason, guys, I'm not going to shake the fact that I feel like something might happen to Ian Garry. I don't know why I'm feeling that way, though. Why am I feeling that way? Can someone tell me in the comments? Am I tripping? Ian Garry's going to stub his toe. Ian Garry's going to accidentally eat some meat. Pause. He's like, bro, I can't twake anymore. My veganism. I don't know, man. I have a feeling, and for some reason, that feeling scares me. That feeling scares me. And I'm not going to lie, guys. I've said shit about Michael Morales. I'm worried, gang. Damn, I'm worried. Like, damn, I'm worried. I'm way more worried than the Sean Brady fight. Sean Brady's fight, I'm worried more from a stylistic standpoint. This fight, I'm worried about from like a size, strength, power standpoint. And like how low he is, his center of gravity. And like how I feel like he refuses to, he like doesn't want to get taken down. I know that sounds weird. No, but like he's really low, his center of gravity. And I feel like, dude, presence is real. I don't care what people say. Presence is real. If you like, even I'm like when you're sparring someone in the gym, guys, and they're just bigger, stronger, their presence is real. Maybe sometimes you give them too much respect and you don't want to take as much risk. Islam's already a safe striker. And I really feel like Michael Morales would like be putting pressure on him and like almost force Islam to panic shoot rather than intelligently shoot. You know those panic shots I'm talking about? Like someone's pressuring you, oh shit, oh, but it's half-assed and almost like half committed because you don't want to get caught with an uppercut coming in. Morales is literally DDP. Like he's like a welterweight DDP. Like why is this nigga like 215 probably on fight night? Like I know he says I'm 200 on fight night. I saw him on a scale one time. I said like 215 after a fight or like the fight day. He gets like rehydration. He'll get to go from 170 to 200 on the same day. Then by fight night, I'm telling you, this guy's huge, bro. And after seeing DDP Usman, it showed me that like size matters. That's what she said. No, of course size matters, but like I feel like it gets problematic when you're landing on someone and you're like just bigger than them and you have like orangutan arms and like you have a very low center of gravity. There's something intimidating about Morales, and I can't lie. I could go on here and like nerd it out and be like, well, hypothetically speaking, Islam's the most talented person since sliced bread, and I could say that and I wouldn't be wrong. Like objectively, I'll be correct. He's the most well-rounded fighter in the weight class. Period. It's gonna be easy pickings, but the size, man. Size, dude, it scares me, and I'm not like I'm not weird for saying that. I don't care. People could try to be, oh, you're scared because her. No, it's good reason for this guy. And I had mixed opinions about Morales, but like the more I'm starting to appreciate him more, which I feel like is a better thing to do than like fully doubt him and dismiss him and end up being completely wrong about that. I think the kid's talented. I think it's a hard stylistic fight for Islam, just given the size, the power, and the strength of Morales. So I'm gonna put him in the highest I'm worried getting, and I'm gonna put him in front of Sean Brady because I'm definitely more worried about Michael Morales than Sean Brady. Like I said, it's difference between being worried from a stylistic standpoint and just like a physicality standpoint, you know, in an athleticism and a youth and a size standpoint. But I'm gonna put him there. Next up, his opponent, Ian Garry. This is the guy he's fighting soon if he doesn't pull out. You know, hopefully he doesn't pull out because I don't want no short notice Michael Morales. But Ian Garry is a weird one because it's a different challenge for Islam. As far as like, I just never seen Islam go against someone 6'3", you know? So how is he going to deal with that movement? And like Ian Garry, the way he fought Belal, like the oblique kicks are just annoying. They're not even damaging. When I said, like, people think I say that like, oh, he's going to TKO him with the leg kick. No, he's not. It's just like that little stomping motion, those side kicks and those obliques, it just stops forward momentum. And then like someone like Islam who's not used to coming forward, like I wonder how he's gonna react. And like the way Islam's flat-footed, guys. I say that and people like get confused. Like he has flat feet naturally. He's not like flat-footed like he stands into mud, but like he has flat feet. So like when he is standing his base and like not hopping back and stuff, like the leg kick's just there. He's pretty heavy on that front leg. And like he's a counter first striker going against a counter striker. But the thing about being a taller counter striker is more beneficial when you're going against a shorter counter striker, because when you're not counter striking, you could just make up that lost time by just throwing obliques and throwing low kicks and throwing front kicks to the face, you know, and that disrupts rhythm, and that makes people second guess themselves. It makes actual pressure fighters second guess themselves. Like it took Belal a little bit to be like, you know, fuck it, I gotta do 1-1-1-2, 1-1-2, 1-1-2, or 1-2-1-1-2. You know, before Belal started letting his hands go, he had to like get through that mental blockade of like, he's just gonna keep oblique kicking me at the distance, you know. But Belal's used to being a pressure fighter. That's the difference there. Islam's not used to being a pressure fighter, and now he's gonna have to do it for the first time in his entire career. And now he's gonna have to do it against someone who's really good at like dictating everything by using his length and using his movement and using his, you know, versatility. So I'm gonna say I'm worried getting two. I'm gonna put him in front of Sean Brady, but I'm gonna put him behind Morales because I think Morales is a little bit more scary just because of the power, you know. Like objectively, Ian Garry is more well-rounded. I don't know, maybe. I heard they both have good BJJ, but I just think the power difference is very scary, you know, when it comes to Morales. So I'm going to put Morales still number one. Last but not least, I got the number one ranked welterweight, Carlos Prates. Prates is good. Prates is talented. Prates is like, he does remind me of like the Ian Garrys and the Moraleses and stuff. But the thing about Prates, guys, he's actually not heavy on volume. He's more of like, he's going to pressure you without throwing much, like looking for a hand fighting situation, then to land his shot. But he has good knees up the middle. He had a great performance in his last one against JDM, nearly killing him in there. Here's the thing though, guys. It's a bit different for Prates. Like, I feel like Ian Garry, even him, like Ian Garry's not great at grappling, but I feel like he has decent BJJ and he like caused decent sweeps in like crazy situations, you know, just because his grappling background. I feel like Prates is one of those people with his frame that when you get him down, same with Ian Garry, but like more so Prates, you get him down, it's not going to be that hard to hold him there. Like he's not getting out of Islam's half guard. I'm sorry, he's not getting out of Islam's half guard in my opinion. You know, and I feel like when Ian Garry controls distance, he does a better job like throwing obliques and like discouraging people. Like Prates, like he's more like hand fighting you and like trying to play this game with you. He's tricky for sure. I'm actually between tricky bloke and average comp, honestly. But I don't want to call him average comp because that power. I'm going to put him in a tricky bloke. I'm not going to put him ahead of anyone. I'm going to put him at the end of tricky bloke, but he is a tricky bloke. He's going to be like weird to get used to and weird to fight, if that makes sense. But like I feel like once Islam gets him down, it's kind of a walk in the park. Probably submits him very quickly. So I'm gonna put him tricky bloke though, because he's still tricky, getting through that reach and those knees and those like long range weapons and like how versatile he is. It's a bit weird, but yeah. Now that we're done with all 15 top 15 ranked welterweights, we're gonna get into some wild cards. Starting off with first guy, Ilia Topuria. Topuria. This hypothetical is obviously set in the welterweight weight class because Islam's not going back down to 155. And honestly speaking, Ilia is good. I think Ilia could actually beat Islam at 155. I know people are gonna bring up the Justin Gaethje fight, gonna bring up like all these stuff, but I don't think. I think styles make fights. I'm very big on that. Um, that being said, at 170, I'm less worried, but I think he's a tricky bloke. I'm gonna put him behind Amosov because I think Amosov's a bit more of a tricky bloke with his size and power and his overall grappling ability. I think Ilia Topuria grapples really well though, and I feel like he's hard to take down and hold down because he's shorter and he like has a slow center of gravity and he's physically strong and he has knockout power. Ooh. But 170 is a bigger weight class. But then again, stylistically, Islam's habits are pulling back, man. Stylistically, it's a hard matchup. I'm gonna put him ahead of Amosov, honestly. I think he's the head of the tricky blokes. I would probably favor Islam in a weight class like this, but I do think Ili's actually fucking good. I can't lie. I'm not gonna even deny it. Of course, the 170 is even a higher weight class. All right, the next wild cards are all middleweights, and I have 4 middleweights specifically I want to talk about because these are some matchups that people might be interested in. First one, Sean Strickland, the middleweight champion. Yeah, this is a weird one. Of course, regarding his last finish, I'm gonna be honest. I'm worried. Like I'd be worried for Islam. I'd probably be a bit more worried than even Morales, because because Sean Strickland's a big middleweight. Like he's fucking huge. He's like probably 220 on fight night. Like he's a big, or maybe 215. But like he's not fat, but he's big. In his striking style is annoying. Like he would outstrike Islam. Like I think he would outstrike Islam. Islam's objectively a better striker, but he would outstrike Islam. And then it's like Islam could take him down. But after Khamzat, I don't know. I'm worried, gang. I don't even know if Islam wins this. I'm gonna be honest, because 185 is just a big weight class, dude. It's big. They're big over there, man. Islam's small compared to some of these welterweights like Amosov and Usman and Sean Brady and Morales. Imagine like a big middleweight. Like Sean, yeah, I'd be very worried. Next, I don't even want to spend too much time because I don't want to even give Strickland too much credit. Next up, Dricus Du Plessis. On the concept of big, like on the topic of big, yes, he's huge and he's very good. I'm gonna put him. I'm worried, gang, too. Like all these middleweights might be ahead of every single welterweight. Stylistically, I actually think he's an easier matchup than Strickland because I think it's easier to take down DDP and like almost hold him there. Whereas I feel like it's not that easy to do with Sean Strickland. So I think I'm worried getting very befitting for a DDP, like, because it's going to be a hard fight. As long as this fight's standing, holy crap. Like, he's going to be coming at Islam with some crazy shit. And, like, the power difference, man, oh, shit. Like, when he lands on Islam, I feel like Islam's going to almost panic when he gets hit. He's like, holy shit, that thud. They hit with a different thud at middleweight. And I think that Usman fight showed it. And honestly, everyone DDP fights. Like, look at how fucking Sean Strickland reacts to the punches and, like, Izzy. They go flying, dude. And those are natural middleweights. So imagine, like, a shorter Islam who's, like, 5'10". Oh, my face-off would even be scary. I'd be worried just looking at the face-off. Like, holy fuck. DDP would probably look so much bigger than him. Yeah, I'm going to say I'm worried, gang. I'm not going to lie. DDP's a massive dude. I think stylistically, Sean Strickland's a little bit harder of a matchup, but DDP's like almost like a bigger, stronger Morales with better striking, in my opinion. So I'm going to definitely put him in I'm worried, gang. Next up, we'll go Khamzat Chimaev. Of course, really good. Like, honestly, when I watch Khamzat Chimaev wrestle against Arman Tsarukyan, it lets me know, like, size does definitely matter in wrestling when two people are talented. Of course, every middleweight is probably going to be higher than every welterweight, but stylistically, honestly, I think it's the hardest stylistic matchup for Islam, maybe. Yeah. I don't know. He could probably out-wrestle Islam. But on the feet, it'd be 50-50. On the feet, it'd be 50-50. Oh, man. I actually might put Strickland ahead of him. Because Strickland on the feet, I could see him just being gay and teeping and shit. And jabbing, which might be enough. Whereas Khamzat is going to high guard and throw like one overhand that's looping at a time. Ah, fuck it. Strickland's being ahead of him. I just thought about the Strickland fight. It pissed me off. Alright, yeah. Strickland's still the hardest stylistic matchup. Khamzat would I'll grapple Islam though for sure. Like no doubt in my mind. Especially if you don't know what I'm talking about, watch the Arman and Khamzat grappling match. You understand how strong Khamzat really is. Last but not least, Nassourdine Imavov. Probably my favorite active middleweight. He's really good. Clean hands. Very clean hands, not the best defensive wrestling against some middleweights, He's been taken out. Sean Strickland took him down, eh? He's good though. Like he's quick-handed. I feel like, and he's a strong guy. He's actually not big for the weight class, but he's strong. He has pop in his punches. He's so quick. Like he would actually, I think he would speed mog Islam badly, honestly, when I think about it. Like he would just land shots, boom, boom. Islam would be like, what the fuck? I just got hit by a 1-2. Islam would probably wrestle. It'd be hard early, maybe get him down later. I still think I'd be worried, though. I'd be more worried for the yeah, I'm gonna put him ahead of Morales because objectively he's a better striker than Morales, and he's like 6'4". So yeah, I think Imavov will be a tricky little thing for Islam to deal with. But this is my list, brother. Like I think I did pretty good on ranking these. I think Islam beats majority of these people though. The only ones I'd question is all the middleweights, and that's it. I think he beats every welterweight, honestly. I think he beats every welterweight. It's just like some of the welterweight fights are gonna be harder than the others. Of course, the Morales, Ian Garry, and even Sean Brady. Maybe Sean Brady, I'm glazing a bit too much, but there's something I see in him. But yeah, those guys are gonna probably be the hardest matches for him at welterweight, you know. But outside of that, I think he could beat everyone else. Even if he has to get through some tricky things like Amosov, MVP, and Usman and Prates, he'll beat them, I think. But I just think it'd be maybe a tricky adjustment period. But let me know what you guys think about this down below. Thank you guys again for 25,000 subs. That's it from me, and God bless. 2, 3.